Guys, building a business takes grit, takes resiliency, and a willingness to keep climbing. Welcome to The Climb, where we sit down with local business owners here in Knoxville to hear their stories, to hear some of their wins and some of their challenges along the way, to hear some of the lessons they've learned during the climb. Because in any climb, there's always going to be somebody just a little bit ahead of us that we can learn from, and there's always going to be somebody behind us that we can help along the way. I'm Jonathan Polk with Peachtree Planning. I want to highlight that we work with business owners at whatever stage of the journey you find yourself in, whether you're just starting, whether you're in the middle trying to break on to the next level, or preparing the exit strategy to your business. Without further ado, I want to welcome Mike Witcher with East Tennessee Weather. Happy to have you here today.
Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate that.
Well, good.
Cool little intro. I like to learn more about what you're doing as well as I know we're going to be talking about what I'm doing as well. But I think it's really cool. I mean, that you're here to help businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I see it as a win-win for all of us. I get to learn a little bit about what you do. You learn what I do, and then the listeners out there hopefully can get some nuggets, from your own personal experiences, and then kind of help them along in their business world as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry I don't have a green screen behind me to make you feel a little...
I'm out of my element here, Jonathan. What are we doing here? Over here, we got high frame. That's not working so well, is it?
Exactly. But hey, tell me about growing up in Colorado. What was that like?
Yeah, born and raised in Denver, Colorado. Never thought I'd leave the state, to be honest with you. And here I am 20 years later, living in Knoxville, Tennessee. But born and raised in Denver, suburbs of Denver anyways, big diehard skier.
Okay.
Love the outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
That was always my passion. Just being outside and meeting people. That's just who I am and how I've always been.
Well, cool. Any brothers, sisters?
I've got two brothers. I'm the middle child.
Okay.
Classic middle child syndrome over here. I'm guilty as charged. I'm a May baby and a middle child. You put the two and two together, and you kind of get an idea of who I am.
Did y'all, have some healthy competition growing up?
We did a little bit, but we were 4 years apart. It's funny you say that because we were just home in Colorado recently, and we were talking about it over dinner and how we were 4 years apart in school, so we never really had that competition in school.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We had the brotherly competition at home, but it stayed at home.
What? That's neat. Well, obviously, you're a meteorologist. Have you always been fascinated with weather?
I laugh at that. That's so. If you don't know my story, I'll tell my story briefly because it's. I like to tell my story because being a business owner, as many business owners know, that you have to pivot. And if you don't pivot, you're going to be left behind.
Right.
Which I'm learning as a business owner myself. But no, I accidentally got into the field of meteorology. A quick synopsis is I wanted to be a high school science teacher.
Okay.
That was my first career goal in high school. And then I got interested in aviation. I had a couple of my friends' parents who were professional aviators, and I sat down with them when I was 17 years old. And I always say, if they knew this today, and unfortunately they're passed away since, but they gave me terrible advice. I say this all the time. This is part of my story because they told me two things, and they both said the exact same thing: either join the Air Force or buy your own airplane. And I'm like, what 17-year-old buys an airplane? Like, I did officially go get my license, so I do fly airplanes now. But in hindsight, it's 2020. Had I known what I know now, I probably would have chosen that path.
Wow.
And a totally different life that I would have lived. Got interested in journalism. Took a class in high school. Came home and told my mom. I said, I finally figured it out. I know what I'm going to go to college for. She goes, what's that? I said, I'm going to be a journalist. She goes, no, you're not.
Moms know best.
Thanks, Mom. Like, what? Yeah, right? What do you mean? She's like, what are your two hardest classes right now in high school? I said, English, writing, and public speaking. She goes, you're going to have to do that, right? I said, well, I'll figure it out because I like it. And that's just kind of my personality. If I find something I like, and I will figure out how to do it. And so, lo and behold, I got a journalism degree from the University of Northern Colorado. Sorry about that. I say that around here. You say UNC here in the Southeast, they think you went to a different school.
Well, I mean, that's Dalton Connect.
Right.
Connection, right?
Right. So went to the University of Northern Colorado, got an undergrad in journalism, poli-sci minor. Got my first job in TV pretty shortly after college. as a TV photographer.
Okay.
Started reporting. Went to school for 4 years to be a reporter. Didn't like reporting, but I love the photography and photojournalism aspect of that. Weekend weather guy quit. Boss came up to me and said, you should try out for the job, practice for 2 weeks straight on the green screen. Said, okay, I'll take the job, learn everything you can in the industry I'm in. Got the job, and 7 times I went into the boss and the owner, because it was a small TV station, so the owner was there,
right,
and said, get me out of this. It's not what I want to do. And I go, why? I said, I don't even know why those clouds are outside. How am I supposed to tell people at home what the weather's going to be like? And I don't even know. And the funny thing is my best friend in college, my sophomore year, made me take Meteorology 101. And he's like, listen, get into weather. If you're going to get into journalism and TV, get into weather. It's great. I said, nah, I'm good. Took the class. So I really didn't know much. So long story short, I ended up breaking promise number 1 I made myself 3 promises.
Okay.
And I don't know why I did this. Certain things that you do in life. Promise number 1 was to never go back to college after I graduated the first time. I love school. I didn't like studying, but I loved school.
Right.
Like I loved the community that school brought. So lo and behold, I'm back in school. I went to did an online program for Mississippi State University.
Oh, okay.
So did that. That was like one of their first online programs in the early 2000s. So you start putting the math together. It was all dial-up and VHS tape, okay? Try doing a broadcast school online on dial-up and VHS tape. It was incredibly hard.
Hey, if you can do that, you can do anything.
Suppose so. So did that for 3 years and became a meteorologist. Once I started learning about weather, I was like, now this is cool. And the one thing I love about it so much is that, and I go talk to groups and schools all the time, and it's the one thing that we all have in common. Like, we can't escape it. We all are different people. We dress differently, we act differently, we look different. That's okay. That's what makes our society awesome. But what's really cool is I get to talk about something that affects everybody every day. Now, we all perceive it differently, right? Depending on where you're from, but we all have
Rain in again today.
Right.
But we need it.
But we need it, and we have to deal with it no matter what you're doing in life.
Right.
It is what it is. So it's pretty cool, and I'm glad I ended up in the industry I'm in.
Hey, obviously, sometimes you've got to, like you said, pivot. Sometimes you got to learn the hard way, but obviously you've ended up right where you needed to be all along.
I think so, yeah.
How, through all the pivots, what have you learned along the way as far as some of the challenges you faced that if you wouldn't have faced them, you wouldn't be in this position?
Well, that's a tough question. I think just the adversity of trying to figure out something new, something that I didn't have a passion for and now I have a passion for, and trying to figure out the nuances of how to make this work. And doing TV weather is one thing. Doing what I do now with East Tennessee weather is a totally different ballgame. Right? TV weather, you just went in, did the forecasted your TV time, and went home for the day.
Right.
Very much of a presenter. And I think that's why I pivoted into, I know that's why I pivoted. That is why I pivoted into doing what I'm doing today, because I saw where the industry is going. So the challenge would be, how can I take all this information that I've known for so many years and this career that I've built for myself and my community,
absolutely,
because I love our community, how can I take that and do something outside of the corporate world? And ultimately, that's where I came up with East Tennessee Weather.
I mean, growing up, you said you want to be an aviator. Did you have any inclination you'd be a business owner someday?
I've always wanted to be a business owner.
Really?
Yeah, I actually owned my first business in high school. I had for 3.5 years, I had my own lawn service. And we made a ton of money. We mowed a lot of lawns. It was just a buddy of mine and we figured that whole entrepreneurship thing out. And all along the way, even after being here for so many years, if I were to ever get out of TV, I already had a business idea.
Okay.
And so if East Tennessee Weather didn't come to fruition, I would probably pivot into this other business idea.
Okay.
It's a sandwich shop.
Okay.
By the way, I love sandwiches. I really do. And so I wanted to use my last name and call it the Sandwicher. So if you ever see the Sandwicher pop up in East Tennessee, that's me. But yeah, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur because I think that is just who I am.
I mean, obviously you like to kind of do things your way, kind of have that control aspect of things where you get to make it your own.
for sure.
I mean, what's been your favorite part about having East Tennessee weather so far? As from a business owner perspective.
Yeah, so the challenge. I do like a good challenge. I've always liked a good challenge. I think that's why I went back to school and got my meteorology degree, because if I don't know something,
right,
I'm going to research it and try to figure it out. Yeah. So the challenge, because the challenge is literally every single day. How do I make money? How do I broadcast appropriately to what I'm doing in the all digital world that I'm in now? Do I need to be wearing a suit every day? Can I be a little bit more relaxed? You know, all these different nuances in the world that I live in now is a huge challenge. But you know, above and beyond that, I think just the consistent and doing it every single day, which also becomes very much of a challenge with the family and balancing life and family and making money and a business owner and you know, I mean, I've got plenty of friends who are business owners, and you know, I haven't taken a vacation for almost 3 years. I haven't had a day off for 3 years.
Wow.
And so my friends were like, well, why don't you just close the doors for a few days, go spend some time with your family? I said, well, you're not going to do that with your business. Why would I do that with my business just because it's a digital business of weather? Weather happens every day.
Exactly. People depend on you.
Very much so. So I don't feel like I can close my doors and take a couple days off. So
I know you did that recently. How was that? As far as being able to shut the door to maybe relax, but at the same time, you know, you can't really turn off that clock in the back of your mind, right?
Well, no, you know, and I, you know, I didn't take any time off when I was in Colorado, and that's the cool thing about what I'm doing now, is that I'm not stuck to the studio like I was in the corporate TV legacy media world. Everything I do from my current studio at home, which is at home, by the way, I can take on the road.
Right.
And so I have a whole bag of equipment. I take it anywhere I go, and I broadcast from anywhere in the world that I'm in.
How was that? Being able to, you know, not be tied to the office, being able to be you everywhere.
It's freeing. It's very freeing. I think it's a challenge.
Right.
So there's another challenge that comes with what I'm doing.
Yeah, especially when that work-life balance with family.
Yeah.
Being able to say, no, you know, you have that boundary set, so you have family time. Otherwise, the business is going to ruin
Right.
you.
1,000,000%. And my wife is a nurse, and she gets on me all the time about, you need a schedule. You need a schedule. This from this time to this time, you got to do this. From this time, she's like, otherwise you're just going to be frazzled with all these things coming at you.
Right.
You know, juggling the 18 balls in the air, emails coming in at you, questions always coming in. You know, things break. Technology breaks all the time.
Right.
And so all these things combined, if I didn't have a schedule, which I still don't 100% have a schedule.
Right.
She's don't tell my wife.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
she knows.
You know, some people need a schedule to stay structured, but then some are more spontaneous. I mean, be true to you, right?
For sure, but I think a schedule would definitely benefit me a little bit. Right. And I do have a schedule.
Right.
I mean, I get up every day. I broadcast every day. I think the most important part of the day is the morning. When people get up, they look at their cell phones. I feel like that's where I need to be.
Right.
But I also did morning television for 24 years or 20 years, so I'm used to. I've always had that in my head that that's going to be the most important part of the day, anyways. Is it? I don't know. We'll constantly pivot.
Yeah.
If people tell me otherwise and say I'd rather have my forecast at nighttime, great. Well, guess what? You get it both times. Yeah. But what I love about it so much is that, like, when I first got into TV, the hardest, back to the challenge thing, probably one of the biggest challenges was to get TV brain out of my head. I'm so used to doing a forecast in 45 seconds, a minute and 20 seconds, and I had 75 weather hits a day.
Right.
Doing morning TV. It was so hard, like, okay, what can I do? Is anybody going to watch a 4-minute forecast if I really dive? They actually do. YouTube analytics say so. If it's like a big snowstorm or something like that, people want to know really all the details.
Right.
So
details do matter.
Details do matter, yeah. I mean, TV, you're just like, hey, have a good day. You know, here's the information, have a good day. I mean, I think that's one of the challenges was to get TV brain out of my head.
Yeah.
And I still think it is very much of a challenge, because I've done it for so long.
Right.
It's so hard. I mean, for instance, when I first started, I really wanted to be a lot more casual. It was YouTube. It was an app. It's digital. Do I really need to wear a suit? And and I bought all these clothes to go a little bit more business casual. And I got in front of the green screen, which I don't have a green screen. I got a TV, but either way, it looks like a green screen on TV.
Oh.
But it's a 100-inch TV screen, actually, is what my green screen is.
Nice.
But I got on there and I was like, I felt so out of place. I was like, I can't be in a shirt like this.
Right.
Like, this is weird. Okay, guess I'm putting on a shirt and tie. And my wife was like, yeah, I think, you're trying to bring people over from TV land. You probably need to look the part still too. Well, over the last 2.5 years, I have gradually, I can't tell you the last time I wore a tie. So I wear stuff like you're wearing. I wear stuff like what I'm wearing. And guess what? Nobody cares. You don't need to be in a monkey suit.
At the end of the day, they just want to know if
just
it's going to be 75 and sunny or if it's going to be raining, how is it going to impact their life?
And I think above and beyond that, it becomes more relatable.
Mm-hmm.
We are still the same people. I don't think I need to be in a suit. Are you in a suit every day? Is you in a suit every day? No. Is there a certain time to wear a suit? Sure. Absolutely. It's got its place for sure. But I think on a day-to-day basis of just giving weather information and being that's the thing is I live here too. I think that was one of the things is TV. I felt like a presenter. People are like, oh, and people perceive you differently. Mm-hmm. I was at the grocery store one year when way back when, and I lived in Northwest Knox County. In a small 850 square foot house, like teeny. Had it for 10 years. It was my first house I bought. I remember shopping at the grocery store, and I remember hearing some lady going, well, what's he doing over here on this part? He belongs in West Knoxville. And I was like, whoa. And the lady was like, no, he's been shopping here for like 10 years. This is his grocery store. He lives right here. He is a normal person just like everybody else. And so I think being on this side, doing the digital side, I can let that personality out a little bit more of who I am.
Right.
But again, that's taken time, and I've been doing this for 2.5 years. It's taken 2.5 years for me to get a lot more comfortable being on this side, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Because every time we try to be a little goofy or a little bit funny, we get called into the office all the time. Too funny. Get on with the news. Get on with the weather. People don't have time for that.
Right. You got 45 seconds.
Yeah.
You got to stay on point.
Yeah. I'm going to rap.
You got to get to commercial.
Yeah, totally. So, anyways.
I mean, you've talked about some of the challenges. What are some of the things you're most proud of so far?
I'll tell you what I'm the most proud of so far. I'm proud that I did this.
Oh, wow.
And I'm proud that I did this because, just before I came here today, we're out shopping around. And I told my wife and I have noticed this recently. Sure, do I get recognized in public? I do. It's kind of ebbed and flowed over the years on how many people are watching TV and whatnot. When I first got out of TV, it was like, oh man, we miss you on TV. I was like, I know, I'm sorry, I'm doing this now.
Right.
You can download my app if you want. This, that, and the other. Literally, I don't get that anymore. It is always, I love what you're doing. I have your app. Oh, look at this, I have your app. I was like, thanks. Yeah. So people are now very, East Tennessee Weather has become a household name. And I am so proud of that.
That's awesome. And I think you said it best in the sense that I'm glad I did this. Mm-hmm. So many people are not willing to take that leap of faith, take that risk. Because there is a risk involved, right?
Huge risk, yeah. No, I didn't buy a building and a brick and mortar and have 100 employees that I got to take care of. And so there's a little bit of, but I still have bills to pay. And listen, it took me 2 hours to send my resignation letter to my TV station because that leap of faith. It's just like, if I push this button, it's go time.
Right.
Are we okay? So my wife, she's like, okay, hold on. Let me say a prayer for us here real quick.
Yep.
We prayed over it for a moment. She goes, okay, push that button. Boop. Push the button, and the rest is history.
Did you have a sense of relief, or what was the first emotion?
Anxiety and relief at the same time. I think is kind of a huge relief.
Yeah.
When I pushed that button, anxiety because I was still trying to figure out how is this going to work. I still had non-competes I had to deal with. I still had to deal with this. Not deal. The TV station was great.
Right.
Channel 10 is great. But I still had to deal with some stuff.
Right.
And how I was going to get through that. But once we got through all that, huge relief.
Obviously, you've been preparing for this monumental step in your journey, for the last 20 plus years. And now that you're here, you get to, like I said, be in control and do things your way. You can dress casual. You can do 4-minute forecasts now.
Mm-hmm.
And along the way, what has been some of the best advice that you received? That's that finally allowed you to say, okay, all right, I'm ready for this.
You know, I think it was, I don't necessarily know that there was like a piece of advice per se, you know, because like I was like the 5th one in the country to do what I'm doing.
Okay.
There's now 25 of us. We're on our way to 50 to 100. We are going to continue to grow because we're building a bigger platform across the country. But so I don't necessarily know, geez, if there was one piece of advice, it's just been the support. The support from my wife, the support from my kids. I do work a lot. They see it, they feel it, they hear it, they know it. And the fact that they're still with me today is really nice. So very supportive. You know, it's one of those things where the gentleman who I went and talked to before I started East Tennessee Weather to see what the operation looked like, he said, "Do you want to be the chief meteorologist? Yeah. You want to be the head of sales? Okay. You want to be the janitor? You want to be this? You want to be that? You want to be that? IT, this, that, and the other? Yeah, I'll figure it out along the way." So. I don't think that I've gotten one piece of advice that got me to where I'm at today. I think it's just been a collective through my career that got me to where I'm at.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. I mean, I think you got to have that support because if you feel like you don't have that support, at the end of the day, you're going to feel more anxiety and just more pressure to compete, to succeed.
Well, there's still, I mean, yeah, and as any business owner, and you probably are very well aware of this, I mean, what would you say, 3 to 5 years before you really start
Oh yeah, I mean, that's where in my business as a financial advisor, once you make it to the five-year mark, the success rate, escalates very, very much so. But like you said, it's figuring those things out along the way first. Without that, without those challenges, you kind of grow into the position in the two. I think whether you're an athlete, whatever career path you're in, you're going to face, things along the way. And those who are willing to stick with it are the ones that, of course, they're going to succeed. You're going to reach that finish line. And then too, I think it's kind of like you're a butterfly, but before you're a butterfly, you're in that cocoon, and you've got to have that web around you in order to prepare you for flight.
Yeah. No, I think that's it. I think that's my entire career has prepared me. The things I think I do have a lot of great ideas that I was never able to get out on the table because that just wasn't allowed back then. So these are kind of things I do. The support of my family, the support of the community. Without any of this, yes, have I made it yet? No, I haven't made it yet, to be honest with you. But are we making it? Absolutely. And that goes to show what I just said is when I go out in public and people say, "I've got your app, I love you, I watch you every day." That's the meat and potatoes. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what keeps me going every single day.
Yeah, because when you think you've reached that summit and you say, "I've made it," that complacency is going to kill it.
For sure.
And so
always got to change. Always got to pivot. Always got to work with the community and work with technology.
Yeah.
It's always changing.
When you kind of think, next steps, I mean, 2.5 years in, what are some of those next things you're working towards that you're excited about?
Yeah. So great question. So one thing I've been really working on, and one thing that was my goal from the very beginning, was a camera network. And so I think that I can present to you weather all day long. I can talk in front of the camera all day long. I'm very good at that. I can talk to anybody. But showing the weather along with showing the radar during severe weather or inclement weather events is a game changer.
Yeah.
And I had that from the get-go, and I've been working on my camera network. We're up to 12, almost 15 cameras now. We're getting more across East Tennessee that are going to be live on YouTube and the app and the website and whatnot. That is a game changer for me. So that's a huge career goal, career goal with the East Tennessee Weather. But my goal from the get-go also was I'm not going to stop until this becomes the #1 stop shop for weather. People are leaving legacy media every single day. That generation is an older generation anyways. The younger generation's not watching the local news. So how do I bring it to them?
Right.
And you got to be on all platforms, the TikToks and the Instagrams and all those things. Just to be there every day for people. But I was going to say something. I've worked a lot of hours, and I still get up at 3:30 in the morning. So sometimes I go, what just happened? Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, camera network, and then I want to build this even bigger. So this to become the number one stop shop for weather. I want to hire. So I need a team.
Okay.
So I can't do this by myself every day for the rest of my life, right?
Right.
And so I want to build a team, a very trusted team here in East Tennessee, and so that's my next goal.
That's exciting. I think you say the best for those future business owners out there. You got to be willing to change, because if you're not willing to change, you're going to be left behind.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, good. Well, hey, as we wrap up, I just want to point out, on the podcast, you'll be able to go to the last screen, be able to download the East Tennessee Weather app. Any other ways to connect with you?
Oh, I'm everywhere. I'm on all digital platforms. So yeah, if you have a smart TV, Roku TV, Amazon Fire, or YouTube, you can download the app itself for the big smart TVs and big screens. I highly recommend that during like severe weather coverage, so you're not sitting there watching on your cell phone trying to figure out where you are on the cell phone. That's hard to see. So put it up on the big screen. It's family friendly. That was, you said career goal. That was another career goal. The news is not family friendly, in my personal opinion. I ask people all the time, if you were to rate the news, what would you rate it? A lot of people say G. I disagree with that. I think the news is rated R. Yeah. To be honest with you. And so if I don't let my kids watch rated R movies, why would I let them watch the news? But family friendly. Roku TV, Amazon Fire, YouTube, the website, easttnweather.com, the app for Android, iPhones, tablets, and then all social media from TikTok to Instagram, Facebook, and everything. So and when I go live on all platforms. I do not care where you come to. It does just come to a trusted source.
Right. Well, that's awesome.
And above and beyond, if I can say one thing, above and beyond, whether you follow me or not, I don't care. Find a trusted source for weather and stick with that person.
Yeah.
Because social media has really cluttered and made it very difficult to find good information during inclement weather events.
Right.
Whether it be big snowstorms or big severe weather events.
They're all about the hits, the scare factor.
It's scare factor. And I say, I don't care if it's me or not, just find a trusted source, watch what you like and share on social media. That's going to help my job out. That's going to help you out as well.
Fantastic. Well, before that screen also, I just want to point out, if you're, feel like you might have some blind spots or gaps in your own financial journey, feel free to click on the QR code at the left. If you're a business owner looking to get a free assessment on your business, you can click the QR code on the right. Thanks again for joining us today on The Climb, whereas we sit down with business owners to hear their stories, to realize that there are people ahead of us in the journey that we can learn from. There are people behind us that we can help along the way. Keep climbing and keep growing. Thanks again. See you next time.
Financial representative of the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America, Guardian, New York, New York. Peachtree Planning of Tennessee, LLC, is not an affiliate or subsidiary of Guardian. This podcast is for informational purposes only. Guest speakers and their firms are not affiliated with or endorsed by PAS, Guardian, or Peachtree Planning, and opinions stated are their own. 8927329.1, expiration 528.